Today we're going to learn how to write a pretty large number in a new way. For example, you might be asked to write 23,257 in expanded form. Well, what is expanded form? You're probably used to writing numbers like this. This is what we call standard form because it's the standard or regular way we write numbers. To write a number in expanded form, what you do is break the number into each of its place values. Just so we don't forget, I'm going to put the different place values up on the screen. Now we can just take our number one digit at a time. Let's start with this 2. Well, we see that this 2 is in the 10,000s place. So the value of this 2 is actually 20,000. Then we can move on to the next digit. The 3 is in the thousands place. So it has a value of 3,000 that we can add in. Next, we see this other 2. That 2 is in the hundreds place, so it has a value of 200. After that is the 5, which is in the tens place, and has a value of 50. And finally, the 7 is in the ones place, so its value is just 7. Now this, 20,000 plus 3,000 plus 200 plus 50 plus 7, is one way that you can write a number in expanded form. However, there's another way. What you could do is expand everything a little bit further. For example, let's look at our 20,000. Instead of writing 20,000, we could show that 20,000 is 2 groups of 10,000s. It's a 2 in the 10,000s place. We could do that same process for each place value. 3,000 is really 3 groups of thousands. 200 is really 2 groups of hundreds. 50 is really 5 groups of tens. And 7 is simply 7 groups of ones. This is the other way that you could write an expanded form. We use multiplication to show groups of as we break each digit into its individual place value. Now let's do one together. Let's write 45,638 in expanded form. So we'll start with our number and think about our place value chart. Let's start with a 4. What place value is it in? It's in the 10,000s. And what's the value of 4 10,000s? It's valued at 40,000. Now let's look at the 5. What place value is it in? It's in the thousands. 5 thousands is equal to 5,000. This 6 now is in what place value? It's in the hundreds. 6 hundreds equals 600. This 3 is in what place value? The tens. And 3 tens is equal to 30. And lastly, this 8 is in the ones, so just has a value of 8. Now this is one way to write it in expanded form. Let's break it into its even more expanded form, though. How can we split up 40,000? We can write it as 4 groups of 10,000s. How can we split up 5,000? We could write it as 5 groups of thousands. How can we break up 600? We can write it as 6 groups of 100s. How can we break up 30? We can write it as 3 groups of 10s. And lastly, how could you regroup 8? We can rewrite it as 8 groups of 1s. This is the other way to write 45,638 in expanded form. Now you can try some on your own. Let's write 27,112 in expanded form. So you start with the number and think about place value. The 2 is in the 10,000s, so it has a value of 20,000. The 7 is in the thousands place, so it has a value of 7,000. This first 1 is in the hundreds place, so it has a value of 100. And the next one is in the tens place, so it has a value of 10. Finally, this 2 is in the ones place, so it has a value of 2. That's the first way you can write this number in expanded form. What's the other way you can write it in expanded form? Well, you can write 20,000 as 2 groups of 10,000s. 7,000 is 7 groups of thousands. 100 is one group of hundreds, 10 is one group of tens, and 2 is two groups of ones. Here's the other way to write this number in expanded form. Now here's your last problem for this video. How can you write 5,781 in expanded form? Well, with your number and your place value chart, you have to find that the 5 is in the thousands place, not the 10,000s. So 5 thousands has a value of 5,000. 7 hundreds has a value of 700. 8 tens has a value of 80. And 1 1 has a value of 1. There's the first version of expanded form. How else can I write it? You can break 5,000 into 5 groups of thousands, 700 into 7 groups of hundreds, 80 into 8 groups of 10, and finally the 1 is just one group of ones. And that's all for today.